Today we're going to be diving into expectations for the 2024 Arizona Cardinals. What do I expect to see in the second year of Jonathan Gannon? And what do I expect to see from Kyler Murray starting off the year fully healthy? Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack up that like button and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. On this channel, we cover everything Arizona Cardinals news, breaking news, conversational pieces, everything surrounding your favorite team. So subscribe it up. It's absolutely for free. All right, everybody, let's go and dive right into it. Let's talk about the 2024 expectations for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, obviously, we're heading into the second year of Jonathan Gannon, and being the fact that Kyler Murray is fully healthy starting this year, a lot of expectations, a lot of buzz amongst the Cardinal fans, being that there's a lot of hope that this year can be potentially a really good year, right? In terms of progression, in terms of having a better season than four wins in the back-to-back seasons that we had. I think there's definitely a lot of excitement amongst the air. So let's go and first start off with the offensive side of the ball. One thing that I would absolutely love to see from this Cardinals organization / team is continuing the trend in what we were last year. We were one of the top 5 offenses, right? And that's with Joshua Dobbs playing a lot of, offensive snaps and being QB1 for a good portion of the season. Obviously, we saw a little bit of Clayton Tune for that one game, and then Kyler Murray finishing off the season in the last 8 games. We were one of the best running offenses in the entire NFL, right? And that's with a really bad roster. So what I would love to see is for that to continue. We need to lean very heavily on our run game. Now, I truly do believe that our running back core this year is actually better than last year. We got James Conner, Trey Benson, Amari DeMarcado, and we did hear, Jonathan Gannon saying that if he was a betting man, we might be seeing Michael Carter suiting up versus Buffalo. As of right now, remain to be seen, but honestly, I would take this running back core over last year's running back core, and being that we have upgraded, I could only expect that the Cardinals are going to continue that trend of being a dominant run team, and now obviously with Kyler Murray as well, he can definitely get involved with his legs as well, and I do not want this offense to be solely reliant on the quarterback to be absolutely superhero all the time. We don't need Kyler Murray, going crazy, 20 yards this way, 20 yards that way to complete a touchdown. Now, obviously, that makes for really good highlights, but honestly, there's a lot of room for a potential, injury for Kyler Murray kind of doing too much. So I like the superhero plays, right? Especially, like I said before, they're really nice highlight plays, but I think at the end of the day, if we can limit those, and unless we absolutely need them to do that, then I feel like this offense can run very efficiently, with obviously James Conner being our workhorse back there, and whenever he needs a break, then Trey Benson or an Amari DeMarcado. So definitely lean on that run game that we had last year and have that translate. And our offensive line is better as well. We actually have upgraded the offensive line with Jonah Williams, as well as bringing in Evan Brown as well. So I like the pieces that we have. We just got to be able to stay healthy. Now let's move on over to the next point that I have here. Another expectation is that I need these rookies that we have this year with, obviously Tip Ryman, Max Melton, Darius Robinson when he comes back, Marvin Harrison Jr., or actually especially Marvin Harrison Jr., to have a huge focal point in terms of having a lot of opportunity to make plays. Right now, are we going to see Rabbit, Dadrian Taylor Demerson? We probably won't. Maybe he will be playing special teams. Now, I think I have a lot of high praises for Rabbit, obviously in the future years. Right now, our safety core solidified with Jalen Thompson as well as Budda Baker, but there's definitely a lot of room for these rookies to make plays. Right now, the last depth chart, we did see Max Melton not make the top 3, but you never know, right? These depth charts are very fluid. We can definitely see Max Melton being used a lot, while Starling Thomas V is not being used as much. So I need to see a lot of production from these rookies, well, similar to last year where we had a lot of these rookies start and kind of come into their own. And of course, the rookies from last year now heading into their second year, I'm pretty sure they appreciate all those reps that they got, because honestly, reps are gold in the NFL, and I think that these rookies can very well have a good career, or at least a good focal point here, either on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball, as long as they have opportunities to be given. Now, like I said before, especially Marvin Harrison Jr., he is the 4th overall pick in the 2024 NFL draft. Some might say he's one of the best wide receiving prospects we've seen come out of college in a very, very long time. So there's a lot of excitement amongst Marvin Harrison Jr. And now, am I expecting offensive rookie of the year? I don't want to put too much pressure on Marvin Harrison Jr. Now, although we have heard Kyler Murray rave about, he doesn't feel that he's a rookie, right? Just kind of the way he carries himself and the way that he actually plays on the field. He doesn't look at him as a rookie. I'd love to see an offensive rookie of the year. Of course I would, right? That would be absolutely amazing. I'm not going to put that pressure on him in terms of saying that, oh, we need to see this. But what I do expect for Marvin Harrison Jr. is have upwards of over 800 yards this year, right? Now, obviously, it's contingent of him being able to stay healthy. In terms of the touchdowns, I do believe that we have a lot of weapons that we're going to be able to spread out the wealth with, having as much touchdowns kind of spread out with Trey McBride, Michael Wilson, Greg Dortch, Marvin Harrison Jr., and James Conner eating on the ground. So I'm not going to say 10 plus, but what I would love to see for Marvin Harrison Jr. is 7 plus touchdowns and over 800 yards. I think that's manageable, especially if you are wide receiver one for the Arizona Cardinals. That's what I would love to see from Marvin Harrison Jr., our 4th overall pick. Now let's move on over to the defensive side of the ball. Expectations for me, and I'm not sure if this is really attainable, but we heard Jonathan Gannon saying that he is very, very confident in our pass rushers or our ability to, rush the passer this year. I don't know if he's talking about interior or the edge position, but I want to see pressure. I really do. I want to see what Jonathan Gannon is seeing, because as of right now, with Zaven Collins as well as Dennis Gardeck, and of course a lot of the depth guys that we have here with Victor Dimukeje and the other guys we have as well, Xavier Thomas, right, the rookie, I feel like we are leaning a lot on unknown when it comes down to that edge rusher position, but that's definitely an expectation for me here. I want to see at least 1 or 2 sacks in this game from the edge rushing core. Now, I've said this before, the pressure doesn't always equate to a sack. What we would love to see is obviously pressure on any quarterback that we're playing on either week 1, week 2, or week 3, and consistently get pressure back there in terms of, hurrying that quarterback, get him off his mark, get him off his rhythm, and obviously the sack is the cherry on top of the ice cream, but I would love to see pressure. That's my expectation. Jonathan Gannon says that he's confident with the group that we have. I would love to see pressure. I got 3 more points here. I think there's been a lot of people raving about Trey McBride. There's a lot of people knowing who Trey McBride is, especially because of fantasy football. A lot of people are kind of pointing him out as potentially tight end 1 for fantasy football. And of course, once people kind of know you in fantasy, a lot more people kind of pay attention to the Arizona Cardinals because they want their fantasy team to win, right? But Trey McBride is one of those guys that are potentially can be a completely breakout season. I mean a superstar breakout season. Right now, of course, he had a breakout season last year, but I'm talking about an uber breakout, right? Over 1,000 yards, potentially 8 to 9 touchdowns this year. I would love to see Trey McBride being a big focal point in this offense, especially up the middle. This guy has the potential of being one of the best tight ends in the NFL, and he's still very young. He's got a lot of talent, right? A big time vertical threat here, a big body guy that's going to be able to catch those jump balls here from Kyler Murray, especially in the red zone. So I'm expecting a very great year from Trey McBride, and so does Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray says that, Trey McBride's going to have a monster year. So I think with this type of offense that we're running with the run, it opens up a lot of play actions. It opens up a lot of bootlegs, right, where those tight ends can be, people kind of seem to forget that they're there. So I do expect to see Trey McBride have a monster year this year. And I'm just really excited to see what he's going to do for the 2024 season. Let's move on over to Kyler Murray. There's a lot of expectations for Kyler Murray. They truly is. I know there's a portion of the fan base right now that kind of gets on me saying I give Kyler Murray a lot of excuses, right? And I see it every other video that I posted, and I talk, glowing remarks about Kyler Murray and what he's done. There's a lot of people coming at me saying things like, oh yeah, I give him too much leeway. But honestly, at the end of the day, I have seen a big jump from who he was in the Cliff Kingsbury era to now the Jonathan Gannon heading into the year 2 era. So I do believe that they're completely different players, and he even acknowledged himself. He's seen old tape and asked himself, what am I doing, right? So he's acknowledging that he is a great talent. He's acknowledging that he's made flaws. He's acknowledging the fact that he can be better, right? And in this offense, there's a lot of room to grow, and I love to hear that from my QB1. So I would love to see Kyler Murray have a very very good year. Now, I'm not going to come out here and say we need to go undefeated, right? 7-0 or start off 10-3. Obviously, that would be absolutely ideal, but I'm not expecting that. What I'm expecting Kyler Murray to do is play good football, right? I'm expecting him to kind of master this offense. Now, can it take a week or two? Yes, it could, right? Maybe even 3 weeks in terms of getting the rhythm of what this offense could potentially be on his highest gear. So, it might take a couple weeks, but I do want to see him absolutely take over this offense and be the Kyler Murray offense with all the weapons that we actually have. So I want to see a glimpse of what we've seen from Kyler Murray in 2021. Now, is that a little too much to ask for? Potentially, but that's what I'm looking here from Kyler Murray. I want him to make those crazy explosive plays. Now, I said this earlier, I don't need every explosive play, right? Every, drive for him to do something like that. No, those are only kind of meant for if we absolutely need it, right? So he could go ahead and put the Superman cape on and go absolutely crazy, because I know he has the ability to extend plays with his legs, but we do not need that all the time. And I think with this offense is really, really going to help him a lot. So I want to see glimpses of 2021. I'm not going to lie to you, especially when we were undefeated for that little spurt that we actually had. So I'm really, really excited to see what Kyler Murray can do. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's heard all the outside noise. He's heard what people have said about the Arizona Cardinals not being very good and always having the Cardinals down in the power rankings. He is coming for blood this year, and I'm just so excited to see what a ticked off Kyler Murray can do. Let's bring it on. I'm super excited about it. Now, my last point and my last expectation in terms of what I expect for my 2024 Arizona Cardinals, I want to be somewhere around the 8 to 9 to 10 wins. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I feel like would be a good progress from 2023 to 2024. Now, granted, we won 4 games last year, right? And Kyler Murray won 3 of those 4 games last year when he came back in those last 8 games. I'm expecting the Cardinals to double their amount of wins. Obviously, 9 or 10 wins would be absolutely ideal. But I'm looking at the schedule, and I do see a lot of wins. I see a lot of wins for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, call me blindly optimistic, call me a homer. Yeah, that's definitely very well possible. But I believe that this team can actually be very, very good if, obviously, we're able to stay healthy. But the Bills, the Rams, and the Lions, I think the Bills are the most winnable game out of those 3. Now, if we take 2 of 3, if we take 1 of 3, but we beat the Commanders, we're back at 500, right? So let's talk about some winnable games that I feel like the Cardinals can definitely very well win, right? The Bills, the Commanders, the Chargers. I'm going to say the Bears. I think the Bears is a winnable game. The Seahawks potentially taking 1 from them. The Vikings, they're going through a lot of injuries. The Patriots, the Panthers. And I'm not going to lie to you, I have a lot of faith that we can take 1 from the Rams this year. It might not be that first game, but I think we can take 1 from the Rams. And the 49ers right now, I know they're kind of rolling on a completely different gear right now. They're a Super Bowl team. And so I'll say that we're not going to take 1 from them, but just those wins right there is 9 wins on its own, right? So I believe that this Cardinal team can actually be very, very good as long as we can stay healthy, right? Keep Kyler Murray upright, making sure that our offensive run game is a big, big focal point for this offense to open up all the doors for this offense to be from like here to like right there, right? So we need to go ahead and be able to unlock all these things, but it all starts with the run game. And James Conner is going to be that workhorse for the Arizona Cardinals. So I'm really, really excited about what this Arizona Cardinal team could potentially be. What is your expectations for the 2024 season? Do you see this as, oh, this is just year 2 in a rebuild? Or are you in the same boat as me and saying things like, hey, Kyler Murray's back healthy. This is the second year of Jonathan Gannon. We got some offensive pieces out there. We can make a lot of noise as long as we can stay healthy. Let me know what your guys' thoughts here in the comments below. I appreciate y'all for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cardinals.